Health is everything. It is the only thing that is a catalyst for every aspect of your life. It will determine your efficiency, your productivity, your energy levels, your level of fulfillment, your level of purpose, the way you look, the way you feel, the way others treat you, and literally every aspect of your life, even the amount of money you make. You need to have your health dialed in, and this is the ranking system of ways to improve your health. We're going to be ranking health maxing techniques, revealing the absolute truth in a world full of lies. Stay tuned. This is going to be absolute sauce. I just got back from the beach and life is good. Firstly, let me just take a quick sip of milk. I drink about 2.5 liters a day these days, to be honest. I'm not addicted, I swear. But linking into the first technique, it is probably going to be wearing red light glasses or even wearing daylight yellow lenses. You wear these during the day, to make the sun reduce blue light, and you wear these at night to make the sun sets, to reduce blue light, encourage red light, and adapt your eyes to the dark. Your light environment is exceptionally powerful and super underrated. However, obviously, it is better to do these things naturally by getting out in the sun, by exposing your eyes to the actual sunset. Nonetheless, in a modern world where literally it is impossible to avoid blue light, it is impossible to not work on your laptop. For me to not be looking at a screen right now or recording this video, you need to have adaptation techniques like these glasses to kind of naturally mimic health in order to maintain your vitality. I'm going to put both of these and wearing red light or yellow light glasses, blue light blocking glasses in A tier. I think they're exceptionally powerful. 100%, at least some red light glasses are like definitely worth it. These are a bit less worthwhile. If you have the money, you might as well get some because I think it is useful. But these are an absolute necessity and 100% worth your time and money. Focus on fixing your light environment and your overall health will literally improve. You'll improve your sleep, your hormones, and you'll be chill. Now, linking into the second technique, and this may be a bit controversial, but this is why I'm dropping this video, drop some sauce and really help you guys out, is the cold plunge, which I'm going to put in C tier. This may be controversial, this may rattle some feathers or ruffle some feathers, but the reason I'm putting it in C tier, and I'm not telling you can't do it, is purely because from a physiological standpoint, it is not natural. You should not be, having to force your exposure to excessively cold temperatures in order to reduce stress, improve muscle growth, or, anything else. At the same time, I'm not going to knock it completely and put it all the way in D tier, purely because there are some people that really benefit from the mindset perspectives. And although health is king, above health, body, mind, and soul, your mind is everything. So if it truly works for you, regardless of whether, I firmly believe it won't improve muscle growth, it won't do these things. However, if it works for your mind, if it centers you, if it grounds you, if it allows you to be more productive, be more efficient, and be more fulfilled, then I'm never going to tell you not to do something like that. However, purely from a scientific physiological perspective, a very overrated thing, but overall, C tier. And we also have its counterpart, which is the sauna. Now, the sauna is a bit better, especially if you don't overdo it and actually struggle. Again, with all of these things, I always have been a big believer of the idea that struggle is necessary in order to be successful, but I've been kind of going back on this perspective a lot. I think that's purely biological stress is different from mental stress. You really shouldn't have biological stress. Of course, you need a bit of pressure to encourage yourself to be more productive, to meet a deadline, etc. But biological stress is not a good thing, and it will naturally throw your body out of whack. The sauna, again, you shouldn't be overdoing it. However, it is useful. It will boost your growth hormone. It will, especially if you do it at night, help decrease your core body temperature, even though, it's the opposite antagonistic way of thinking. Exposure to the heat will decrease your core body temperature, which will help you sleep better. And at the same time, it is very useful for relaxation. I'd put it overall in B tier. I think it's better than cold plunge. It's not bad. But I think A tier version of this stuff is hot baths. I think hot baths are exceptionally underrated. Again, all of this is an adaptation where if you had the sun, it's sunny, you wouldn't need to do any of this. You just hop on the beach, hop in the ocean, live that kind of way. But a really great adaptation in order to improve your health in the modern world is a hot bath, especially they reboost your entire lymphatic system, particularly when you put Epsom salts and even a bit of apple cider vinegar in the bath. It will reboot your lymphatic system, which is probably full of hardened fluids from years of toxin exposure, and they're exceptionally powerful, particularly if you do them once or twice a week. That's the number one kind of Out of cold plunge sauna, I think hot baths are actually the best one, and that's got to be A tier. By the way, for those of you that are interested, if you want help and if you're struggling with all of this, if you have, work, school, relationships, business, family, all of these things going on in your life, and you want to stay productive and fulfilled in every single one, and you don't really want to spend hours trying every single technique, trying everything that works, and figuring out what works for you, because it really was a full-time job for me, if I'm fully honest. I dedicated and obsessed, for years in order to get to the point where I am now. You can click the link in the description. You'll get access to a community of like-minded people, over 1,700 people in there. You'll get one-on-one access to me, access to dozens and dozens and dozens of guides. We also have external speakers experts in breathwork, fascia, myofunctional therapists, everything you could possibly imagine. And at the same time, you get access to Glow Up Challenge with thousands of dollars. You get access to quite a lot of stuff, and it is currently on sale for $39. So I'll stop the sales pitch, but if you want any help, you can just test it out and you can cancel it whenever you want, if you don't enjoy it. But ranking the health maxing techniques, going back into the main source of the video. Next up, we have grounding. Staying along the kind of nature line, grounding is exceptionally important. And again, I thought this was one of the hippie kind of things. I never really believed in this, if I'm honest. I don't know why. I just thought it didn't make sense. I literally never fathomed that this could actually work as effectively as it does. However, there are dozens of scientific studies. It's actually a very backed up scientific topic. When you ground, there's the flow of electrons from the actual earth. It reduces your cortisol. It helps to reset and relax your thyroid hormone. It really reduces stress. And at the same time, we are animals. We are meant to be in nature. It is our natural environment. This is the base of how we function, and therefore it does kind of make sense if you think everything that we're trying to do is return to natural health, and therefore obviously, go in the ocean, walk on the sand, walk on some grass, get in the park, ground. As easy as that. A tier. It's not going to change your entire life and change the way you look and feel. However, it will play a big difference, and it is 100% worthwhile. It's also exceptionally easy and free, especially when it gets to summertime. Okay, next up we have intermittent fasting. Again, this may be slightly controversial, but I'm just going to cut straight to the chase. This has to be in D tier. This is probably the lowest. I'm not saying it's going to kill you. Again, D tier is better than like F tier. I don't have anything in F tier here, but intermittent fasting is literally a cortisol spike, is unnecessary stress on body. Yes, it may have worked for you. Yes, you may have lost and shed some pounds and kilograms. However, there are much more effective ways of going about weight loss, muscle growth, everything. Food is like one of the most basic human desires. Of course, you should not starve your body on purpose. And further than that, if you're waking up not hungry in the morning, that is not natural. It is a sign that your leptin sensitivity, your entire gut health is messed up. So intermittent fasting may be a good short-term fix for shedding some pounds. However, in the long term, fix your thyroid hormone, rewire your metabolism, rewire your hormones, eat clean, whole foods. Focus on meat, eggs, fruit, raw dairy, even some very clean, starchy carbs if you want. Nail the basics of diet and you will never be fat. Like, obesity is a direct correspondent with, sorry, raw milk's making me burp, but that obesity is a direct correspondent with processed food, with a terrible lifestyle, with negative habits, with being completely out of line with nature and health. It's not natural. There is a reason that testosterone levels have decreased rapidly. There's a reason that obesity rates have increased massively. If you want proof and evidence, because I know a lot of people may be contradictory or naturally apprehensive to this kind of approach, I dropped a video called The Easiest Way to Glow Up as a Man in 2025, like a week ago. I provided a lot of studies, a lot of scientific evidence, and we went into proper detail. You may find it fascinating. It may open up your worldview. But intermittent fasting is unnecessary. There are much more effective ways to go about it, and you should not have to increase your stress levels in order to lose weight. It should be easy. It should be natural. You should be eating clean, getting in the sun, moving, exercising. This is the base of everything. Switch state fasting is slightly different. That's the one kind of a fasting that I may agree on, where you can do an extended fast from time to time in order to reach autophagy and reset your gut health. However, the first priority has to be in achieving the proper diet and lifestyle. Okay, next up we have the egg yolk and hair tactic. Now, mind my hair because I just got back from the beach, so it's not looking the best. However, this is so underrated. No one will ever get past them because they think it smells. It does not smell. All you need is a clean egg yolk. You need to put it in a bowl, not the egg white because it contains avidin, which binds to biotin, which will hurt your hair. Just the egg yolk. Bring it in the shower, wet your hair, and then put the egg yolk in your hair, scrunch it through, and then wash it right out. You don't leave it in your hair for 10 minutes. You literally leave it in your hair for like 2 seconds, then wash it right out. Your hair will instantly feel like it's just been washed. It is that easy. Contains biotin, the most bioavailable form of biotin, which is the precursor to upregulate keratin production, which is the protein that your hair is literally made from. It will naturally clean your scalp. You will never have dandruff in the first place because your gut health is clean. Dandruff is a byproduct of an unhealthy gut. Egg yolks are so underrated. You only need one once every 10 days or so. It can fully replace shampoo. At the same time, you can still use argan oil, coconut oil, emu oil, castor oil, these things to style your hair. You can use natural sea salt and water, for texture. You can kind of pick based on your hair type, etc. And maybe I'll make a more detailed video on that. But egg yolks are so underrated. Stop putting phthalates, sulfates, BPAs, PFAs, loads of random chemicals. Even if you think the shampoo says it's clean, I guarantee you it's not. Move on, give it up, and fix your health. Oh, dropped. Oh my God, I dropped the red light glasses. Everyone has got to be taking the Michael. Those. This is so tragic. What has this video done to me? Oh my God. Yes. Let's go. Oh my God. No. Inshallah. Okay. Oh. Bro, this is so difficult. Why is this so... What kind of magician? Oh my God. Again? You joking? Surely I can do this. Can't be this. Okay. W's! Fixed. Let's go. Okay, I'm just going to keep talking. I'm just going to keep spitting. I forgot to say egg yolks. Okay, camera, everything's all over the place now. Egg yolks. High A tier, maybe even S tier. I'm feeling generous. S tier. I'm going for it. Let's go. Egg yolks S tier. Now, moving on to the next one. We've simply got the bodybuilding style, like, casual, like the usual gym approach that most people take. I'm going to put this in high B tier. I'm not opposed to the gym at all. My hair's actually lost the plot. Sorry for this. Okay. I'm not opposed to the gym at all. I think putting on muscle is good for your metabolism. I think it's good for you. However, I do think there is an approach that is improper, and there are approaches that are much more effective. I think any form of weight resistance is beneficial and much better than what most people are doing. That's why I'm putting it in high B tier. However, training your muscles in isolation and not training your body functionally in the right chains of movement and not accompanying it with sprinting, mace bell training, functional style of training is hurting your overall health, going to give you injuries, not going to train your fascia, not going to do things effectively, but putting on a bit of muscle can't be negative. Overall, I'm going to say bodybuilding B tier, but I'm going to say functional training has to be in A tier. It is so powerful, so effective. Sprinting, mace bells, Indian club bells, um, any kind of functional training where you're training your body in the right chains of motion, activating the smaller muscles and muscles in conjunction rather than training the brachialis muscle of your bicep in isolation when you do a hammer curl. That's the kind of approach to take. I'm not saying you can't go to the gym, but I'm saying at least, mixing the two is exceptionally effective, and functional training is highly underrated. Now, final two, we have got supplements, which I'm going to clown on a tiny bit. And this is from someone that used to take 21 pills a day. I used to grind supplements. I used to go crazy with them. And it was probably the thing that hurt my health most. Not to throw Brian Johnson under the bus. I do think what he's doing is interesting, but I don't think it is the most effective way for most people. I mean, he looks unhealthy, he looks pale, even if his biomarkers indicate, I'm not going to say, but you shouldn't need loads of equipment. You shouldn't need things to basically rewire your health that you were naturally given anyway. So, but I do think what he's doing is impressive nonetheless. Even if I don't agree with the methods, it's the right goal. But going into supplements, overall, most supplements are a joke. They're not bioavailable. They contain, even like most vitamin D supplements, contain cholecalciferol, which is basically rat poison, and no one even realizes it. They think they need to up their vitamin D levels. Well, get in the bloody sun, drink some milk, consume some egg yolks. These things are bioavailable forms of vitamin D, and at the same time, have enough collagen to induce vitamin D synthesis properly. Do these things naturally, and you'll benefit a lot more. Same thing with pretty much every vitamin, every single thing you can supplement can be obtained naturally from a bioavailable diet, and you'll save more money in the long run doing so as well. Overall, I'm going to put supplements C tier. There are a few which can be useful, but overall, 99% of my voice comes from a proper diet. And that is why I'm not even going to go into detail. I've made so many videos. I've talked about this so much, and I will talk about it even more. Diet is the GOAT. Like, that is way above S tier. That is everything. That is literally the base of your entire existence. Fix what you put into your body, and the external image of it will completely rewire, change. Your brain will change. Everything will become better and more effective. Stop drinking, stop poisoning your body, start taking control. You don't need to stop having fun. You need to have some self-respect. Lock in, fix your health. This was ranking health maxing techniques, or ranking ways to improve your health. I hope you enjoyed it. If you want any kind of validation or proof or any knowledge of what I'm talking about, here's my transformation. I went from this to this in literally 2 years. I've transformed thousands of people. And at the same time, I'm pretty obsessed with this stuff. And I've also interned at a couple of academies. But have an amazing day. Stop being absolutely coked and start implementing some of the stuff I talked about. I'm going to go hop in the ocean again because I'm feeling it, and have an amazing day. Peace out.